Should I do author consulting or coaching for money or um, as a side hustle? Well, I have been I've been asked if I wanted to do that, or it's been brought up to me a few times, and every time I try to think it through, I get into this madness vortex of circular logic. So we're going to talk about that. Hello, my name is Cody Engdahl, and I do not have, or actually, I go by Cody C. Engdahl as my author name. I do not have an official open yet. We're working on that. I am trying to build up my author, um, I'm sorry, am my YouTube video channel. Well, that's what we're doing here tonight. And one of the things they say you should do is consistency. So, you don't just start a YouTube channel and then you got automatically thousands of subscribers. I do have almost 500, which I'm very proud of. Now, a lot of those people came on very early when I was doing things like guitar gear reviews, and I've done other things too. My fiddle playing. When I was a reporter, I was using YouTube as a place to kind of dump my demo reels, all that kind of stuff. So, but if you've been following me the last several years, I started writing novels. It was something I was going to do all my life. And what happens is a lot of people would like to write a novel, and I encourage people to do so. And sometimes people, you know, they find out that you've done this, and then they come to you for advice. And I have done that. I've been very happy to help other people. In fact, I'm very proud. I have, I think, at least three books written by other authors that got published because I helped them. I sat down with them. I walked them through the steps of how to do it on KDP. I've had some other authors as well who have just asked me for advice, whether it is about how to set up your book on Amazon, KDP, or uh, advertising. I'm no expert, but I've done quite a bit of Amazon ads, and I've been doing ads on Meta, which is the parent company for Facebook and Instagram. And I do a lot of my own kind of grassroots marketing. I do a lot of organic social media, but I also do things like I do Civil War shows, or I'll even go busk. I busk for book sales where I will set up somewhere, play my fiddle, and try to sell books. And sometimes that actually works. The fiddle actually sells it very well. So I've been through this thing several times, and let's just say I'll tell you this: this industry is very interesting. Now, I always was going to write novels. That was something that was I was. Hey, look, you see the sunset. Is that no? It's just the glare. Okay, never mind. I'm in Chattanooga for no particular reason. Well, I am. I do some side work, but it allows me to um, make a little money to pay some bills, to make up for the gap in between. Well, I mean, I sell books, I sell them well enough, but I still need a little side hustle here to help fund my writing. And so the job I am doing currently has me traveling quite a bit. So I'm in Chattanooga right now, but I didn't want to miss talking to you guys. And I'm trying, like I said, if you want to build up your channel, you have to show up. You got to be consistent. So I'm trying to stream at least once a week, and I'm seeing my views. Sorry, I got not a cold, but probably allergies. Um, and I'm seeing my views rising. By the way, now that we're on the topic, please give me. I don't know. Everybody's so clever. Uh, Please give me a like and a subscription. Leave a comment for me. I'll certainly reply. I don't get a whole lot anyway, so it's no sweat me getting back if you have any questions. So I once I got into writing and publishing and being an independent publisher, which I really enjoy, or independent writer. Some people go the traditional route where they get an agent, and then the agent finds a publisher, and everybody gets a slice of the pie, and you get a an advance, and then you got to first earn back that advance in book sales, and then after that you start getting your royalties. I didn't want to wait for all that. I wanted to write book one, get it out there, start marketing it myself, and be writing book two. I have written now. I have 6 books on Amazon, and I also sell them myself when out of my trunk of my car. Or sometimes people want a signed copy from me, so I do that through the mail. And I also do a lot of shows. I do like Civil War shows, or I do talks, or where I go to like a group, and I'll do a little lecture and then sell books afterwards, and that works pretty well. Um, but I've noticed that there's a lot of questions, and going it alone, well, I think is very beneficial, especially when you're starting out. It can be very scary because uh, you have to be everything. You're not just the writer. You're the writer. You're the bit. You're not just a writer. You're a publishing business. So you're involved in all steps of doing this, from writing it to editing it. Hopefully, you get help. I mean, some people. Thankfully, between my mother and my girlfriend, who are both college educated. My mother's been a writer all her life. Laura is very my girlfriend, very detail oriented. So between the two of them, we're really able to kind of like clean up all the problems and mistakes. And I mean, mostly what I do is I just have it proofread and copy edited, not so much like structural, or what editors do at like big publishing houses, which I don't think I'd be really crazy about. If someone threw a bunch of money at me and said, "We want to publish your book, but you have to use our editor," okay, I'll play ball. But then there's also the marketing, and I've heard that even traditionally published authors still have to do a lot of their own marketing. It's not a guarantee unless you're someone like really big, like Stephen King. They're not going to just throw a bunch of money behind someone unknown. They're going to see if you're a lottery ticket. They're going to pick up, like every year, maybe 100 authors, and see, oh, look, Calico Cat author consulting. Should you do it for money? Yes. I mean, hell yes. Calico Cat. I always forget who that is. That is Lloyd Elmore Jr. Lloyd, let me know if you want to come on. I'll send you the link. I understand if you can't, because I know you're probably going to bed. Lloyd, if he doesn't mind me saying, is one of the people that I have helped. Lloyd has spent probably most of his life writing, but just never got around to getting anything out. So I kind of bullied him into publishing his first book, which was already written. And when he was ready to do it, I went over to his house. We sat down. We got our computers out, made a pot of coffee. His wonderful wife, Mindy, made some cake. And we had cake and coffee. And we got his book online. And since I'm very proud of Lloyd. Lloyd, I think let's see, you have 2 books of short stories and 2 novels, one of which I'm reading, and which will be the topic of one of these live streams. Because I'm also, I'm constantly reading other people's books, and I'm doing reviews. So we'll be doing that. And just so you know, Lloyd, and everybody else out there, I'm really enjoying. I mean, I don't want to say I'm surprised at how much I'm enjoying it, because I know you're a good writer. But um, I was telling Laura, I said, if I didn't know Lloyd at all, if I didn't know him personally, and I just picked up this book and said, yeah, first of all, I think I would have been interested in it. Uh, I would be enjoying it. I'm really enjoying the story. It's really got me. So anybody, check out Lloyd Elmore Jr. His first book, his first novel, that is Maelinsville. But anyway, I'm very proud of Lloyd. I helped him get his first one up on Amazon, and he has taken the torch and run with it, and he's doing great. And so round of applause for him. And like I said, Lloyd, if you want to come on, let me know, and I'll send you the link. There's a few other people that have helped. David Treadwell, or Treadway, and he's got a book about a World War II a British woman that was in a POW camp with the Nazis. I helped another woman, or a woman named Blythe Corbett. She had a children's book, particularly for children with autism. We got her book up and online. There's been some other people who I have consulted in how to do Amazon ads, and I really do enjoy working with other authors and helping them. And and there are several people out there who have even maybe like asked me a question or two, and I tell it. I mean, first of all, if you're watching this right now, I'm at the point where like it's no problem for me. If you want to ask me a question, send me a private message. I'm not going to send you a bill. I'm going to do it for free. We're going to get into this. I would explain some things here. But what's interesting about this industry is there are a lot of people. There are a lot of people out there who are consultants who are selling um, their services. A lot of times, what they do is they give away free courses, and then they try to get you to sign up for their stuff. And a lot of them are, I would say, very legit. One that I want to point out is Brian Cohen. I've learned a lot from him. He has partnered up with Amazon, and he does this every 90 days. He does this 5-day author profit ad challenge. It's some combination of that. And he basically walks you through how to effectively use Amazon ads, and the benefit he gets, the Amazon that he gets for doing this, is that he also pitches his course, and he says you never have to pay me a penny. You can take this free part every 90 days if you like. If you want to learn more, I got this course, and he's got all sorts of things. There's guys like David Chisholm. I think he's the guy behind Publisher Rocket. He's on YouTube quite a bit. The first time I did a Facebook ad, let's see, Lloyd says, after such a crappy day, I really needed to hear that. Thank you. Going to bed soon, must end the day. Absolutely, Lloyd. Laura and I are both reading your book. We're both going to give you good reviews, 5 stars. And I really am enjoying it. And like I said, I don't want to say I'm surprised, but yet I'm like, yeah, I actually really like this book. And we'll get into that, especially when I do the review. But there's a guy named David Chisholm. He writes like Space Marine stuff, but he's also got this whole business about helping authors and consulting and all that. Brian Cohen. I think he has like some YA fantasy, sci-fi, urban fantasy kind of superhero stuff. There's a guy named David Gagrin. David Gagrin. He's got like a whole free course that you can take that I've done, and it's great. I think he writes historical fiction like me. But the thing that makes me curious is that, and the one thing, and nothing against these guys, because I think they're all great and they do great consulting. I cannot speak for David Chisholm or Gagrin about how well their books actually do. I haven't really looked into it. I'm sure they do fine. Both of them are very smart guys, and I think if you put in a lot of effort, and the same effort they put into their consulting businesses, they probably write pretty good fiction too. Brian Cohen admits that even though he sells a lot of books on how to write books and how to market, he says that his fiction doesn't actually do very well, which I think is really funny. but I believe it because I think he's brilliant. But I think that sometimes the skills maybe overlap, but they're not necessarily the same thing. The marketing part of it and the writing part of it. And in fact, I think a lot of you authors might even agree. I know there's a lot of authors who are like, I just want to write the book and not have to think about anything else. And those are the people who should probably get an agent and get signed up with a traditional publisher who's going to do a lot of that, or hire someone like Brian Cohen or David Chisholm or David Gagrin, to help them with their advertising or whatever. But you gotta be careful because there are a lot of hucksters out there. Now, I will say that those three guys, you're safe. In fact, I put a link into the notes down below for Brian Cohen's course. It's free. He's going to do another round of it in October. You can do it as many times you want. They're never going to give you. In fact, I've actually won money from them. In fact, I feel so bad about it that I'm not going to participate in any of the win a gift card because I've won like 3 gift cards from him already. And like, okay, I've never given this guy a dime. I've learned so much from him, and for me, I'm not ready to pay for courses, mostly because I don't have the time to do the commitment like to join author ad school, but I think it's probably a good deal. But anyway, you can do the free thing for sure. So anyway, back to me. I have just like, okay, Calico Cat, which is Lloyd Elmore Jr., wrote consulting, author consulting. Should you do it for money? Yes. I mean, hell yes. Thank you, Lloyd. And I've thought about it. I really have. And because I enjoy it and I enjoy all aspects of it. I enjoy the writing, talking to people about the writing. I don't want to read people's stuff because I don't have enough time. So I'm not going to edit for people. People are like, hey, will you read my novel? Well, if it interests me and I can put it in line, in the queue of novels I'm already trying to get caught up on reading. But most part, no, because I mean, I might, but please don't make me. And that's one of the rules I have with myself. I love you guys. I am never going to ask my friends or my family to read my novels. Now, I will encourage them to, and if they like, hey, I want to read your novel, then I'm all for that. But I don't like when people do that to me, so I don't do it to other people. So we can be friends, and you can never read any of my work for the rest of your life, and we will still be good friends. I only want you to read my novels because you want to read it and you're interested in it. And I mean that wholeheartedly. But I want to help you with your novel. And so, like I said, if you want some advice and all that, I'm happy to give it. And right now, I'm happy to give it for free. And now I've done it. There are people like Lloyd, who's I consider a personal friend. So I'm always going to be, I'm never going to send Lloyd a bill. I'm always, because I'm interested in him and I'm interested in helping him get better, and not get better, but helping him succeed. I mean, he's doing great, but helping him, get the recognition and the sales that he deserves. But there are some people that I don't know very well. There's a guy who contacted me from a forum I belong to, which is called, I think, the Civil War Talk Forum. And he just saw that I had successfully published books and had a book that he wanted to publish. Actually, he had been published through a traditional publisher and had several books that were published through a traditional publisher. But I got to tell you right now, just so you know, we won't go into it because that's not the topic of this, but it's not always the best deal. And there are a lot of authors who start out as traditionally published. They got an agent and they got a publisher. And somewhere along the line, they said, I'm going independent. And I also know authors who, big authors, who do have writing contracts with reputable publishers, but also self-publish some of the things. That's Laura. Your jeans are the only thing I arrived today. Period. She dictates. Laura dictates her messages to me. Like on her iPhone, and I don't know what she does because I can say, "Hey, baby, I'm on my way." Period, and it'll put the punctuation. But for some reason, the way she says it, it always spells out the word period. All right, we got another. A comment here. Brian Riley. Hi, Brian, by the way. It's good to have you. Hey, Cody, do you have any success with the query process? Brian, I never tried it. I never tried it. When I first started writing my first novel, I mean, actually, I've been writing. I have like failed half written novel from the '90s. But when I decided to get serious, I did think about the traditional uh, publishing thing of going through trying to find an agent and then trying to find a publisher. I just didn't have any patience for it. And I did a lot of research and I looked at the pros and cons of both. And I will say this: 10, 20, 30 years ago, you'd be crazy not to try to find an agent. It just, it was the publishing world was very gate kept. Um, you just weren't going to get anywhere. And there were some people that did self publish and did very well. Um, but but really, the only way to success was through a publisher. That's not the case anymore. And there are a lot of people who publish just like me. Like for example, have you ever seen The Martian with what's that guy's name? The movie. It's a guy who self published and uh, 50 Shades of Grey, self published. How to Train Your Dragon, self published. It goes on. I think even Twilight started that way. So, personally, when I looked at the pros and cons of both, and I'll tell you this, like, and even the pros for traditional publishing are getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Usually, the query process is this, from my understanding, is that most of I think the big four, the big six, the big publishers, I can't remember. That's how out of touch I am with it. They only will deal with agents, so they don't do a whole lot of direct with the author. So first you have to send your manuscripts to an agent who's going to say, okay, I like this, I think I can sell it. And that's the thing, is that when you get an agent and you go that way, you can't take any risks. You have to give whatever's hot, and you'll see authors chase that around. Angus Donald talked about Joffre, which means just another fucking Roman author, because so many people. Because I think a while back somebody wrote a really popular Roman historical fiction novel. Everybody started writing it, and all of a sudden the market's flooded. And you try to sell your Viking novel to an agent who's going to sell it to a publisher, and they're like, no one wants Vikings, they all want togas. And then all of a sudden someone, Bernard Cornwell writes Vikings, and now everybody's writing Vikings. And now the agents are like, we don't want togas, we want swords and shields. So so you're gonna, if you're gonna go that route, you're gonna chase the genres. The agents are only going to look at what they can make money off of, and so do the publishers. So for me, I didn't want to play that game. The benefit you get from going traditional is that you'll get an advance. Sometimes I hear it's only like $3,000 to $5,000, especially if you're an unproven, unknown person. Stephen King probably gets a lot more. Then what happens is they control the creative. So they have editors, and they say, we don't like this part. You got to change this. You got to do this. You got to do that. Then they might sit on your book, and they might say, well, we're not going to put it out for another year. And meanwhile, you're waiting. Now that the money they gave you ahead, that's an advance on royalties. So that means that's an advance on the money that they're going to pay you per book once it starts selling, your royalty per book. If they don't market it well, that may never pay out. Like you won't have to pay any of it back, but you won't start making any more money until you've earned that advance, and then you'll start getting royalties. Here's the deal. Now, the royalties, when you have a publisher, are smaller, the percentage per dollar or per unit, than if you're independent. That's one thing about it being independent. Much higher royalty, because you're not paying an agent. You're not paying for the big beautiful office building for the publishing house. It's just you, and And for example, Amazon is who I'm published through. So I get a lot more per book than like a traditional published author. However, the benefit to the traditional published author is that that person may get distribution, so they're going to sell a lot more books, hopefully. And so the smaller per unit royalty doesn't matter because they're getting volume. So the other thing is that traditional publishers don't always go all in with somebody as far as marketing. So a lot of times you still have to do your own marketing. So for me, I would say that, I mean, I think the traditional way is good for some people. I'll just know that if you get an agent and you get a publisher and you get your book published, doesn't mean that you've made it. It's I feel like the fight's even harder, and yet you have less control over your destiny. And so many people end up like getting dumped by their publisher because the publisher did very little to try to promote them or to make it succeed, because they're betting on like 100 people, and if 10 of them are successful, that's fine. They end up buying the rights for their books back and then publishing independently and then making it, and that does happen. So yeah, I guess that's the long answer to that. I have not gotten into the query process because I bypassed that. Um, so anyway, I thought about it because I do enjoy the whole thing. I enjoy the writing, I enjoy the editing, I enjoy the marketing, advertising, all those things, and I enjoy working with other people. And I really believe in this, that author success is not mutually exclusive. So, for example, if somebody's watching this and they're not interested in my book, but they're going to buy Lloyd's book, that's fine, because just the more we promote people reading, all boats rise with the tide. I promote other authors all the time on my Facebook, in my Facebook group, and on Twitter. And I like helping other people and see them be successful. So I thought about it. Like at some point, maybe I should join the ranks of Brian Cohen and David Chisholm and David Gagrin, and maybe even start my own consultant agency. And how would I do that? I don't know. Like you'd pay me a retainer, or do an online course. But I went through a few processes, a thought process. Okay, first of all, and nothing against these guys, because the three that I mentioned, I could vouch for. The information they're giving you is legit, and they're probably even worth paying. Um, but I feel like I can help people because I've been through the process. So I'm a few steps ahead of someone else who needs help understanding how to put a book on KDP, or how to create an Amazon ad. But I'm not an expert at it yet, and I feel like, I mean, I guess the to put it in no uncertain terms, my feeling is, well, uh, who am I? Like I do well, like I do. I sell books all over the world, but I don't feel like I'm at the point where like I'm so successful that I have the expertise to teach someone else. And so here's where the circular logic comes, in the circle, right? I don't think that I really have a right to sell my expertise until I prove them to be very successful for myself. And I think, like I'm on the path. I'm definitely having success, and things are getting better and better all the time. I don't know if I'm at the level right now where I feel confident of saying, look at me, I've made it all the way, and now I'm going to help you, and I want to take your money for me to help you do that. So so I thought, okay, well, maybe I would wait till like I got to a certain point where I felt very confident about that. Like I know what I'm doing. I mean, I certainly can sit down with someone and help them create their book, as long as they've written it and they got it edited, to get it formatted and to get it loaded up onto KDP and published that way. I can do that. I've done it 6 times for myself, and I've done it for other people as well. But I guess what I'm saying is that I don't feel comfortable taking money from people until I really feel like I'm worth it. But at the same time, if I get to that point, then I'm probably not going to be needing to do consultant work for money. Uh, see what I'm saying? So it's a conundrum because it's a chicken and the egg thing. So if I'm an expert, and see that's what I say about like some of these, because I'm telling you right now, there are get into the independent author business, and there are a million people who are going to contact you on LinkedIn, on Twitter, on Facebook. Hey, I can help you get your book to 1,000 readers. I can do this, I can do that, and do this. And it's like every time one of these, I get these come-ons, I'm like, well, how well have you done? And if you're so good at making authors successful, then why aren't you just not doing that for yourself and making the money that way? Because obviously it's not working for you, right? Like if you're so good at this that you're teaching other people and you're taking money from them in order to teach them, well, why aren't you just doing it for yourself then? And if that's working, why would you need to sell those services? It's a circle of I can't make that work. See, it's a circle of madness. Um, you know, I need to prove a huge amount of success to be um, to be a consultant, but but if I have that success, I don't really need to spend my time trying to make money as a consultant. So I wasted all your time telling you that conundrum there. That I'm happy at this point to help anybody if I got time. And right now, yeah, I mean, I can at least talk to you and talk you through some things. I can do some screen shares where we can go on to KDP and we can get your book up. And like I was happy to have a nice cup of coffee, some cake over at the Elmore's. Um, uh, so maybe someday, if the demand is out there and I get like like hundreds of strangers ask me, well, maybe I might charge for it. But until then, I'm just happy to help. So if you need some advice, hit me up. I'm always happy to help. I'm never shy with my opinion, and I'm rooting for you. And I think this, if you have it, let me get a Kleenex. Uh, if you have it in your heart that you want to be an author, and you really do, that I think there's a lot of people who are confused. They think they want to be writers, but they they really don't. They just like the idea of being a writer and not really what you really have to do to be a writer. Um, but if you really have it in your heart, you can do it. It's just all it is just work. You just got to put in the work, and you don't even have to be necessarily like super talented, or creative. You just got to be willing to work. Sit down. Uh, you got to read a lot. If you don't read, forget it. Go buy yourself a guitar, and learn how to sing or something, or take up painting. Um, you gotta love to read, and then write in the genre that you love, and because you're going to understand what people like in that genre and what they're expecting to read. You're going to understand how the pacing, the voicing, story structure, all that. Then you can plot out a book. And it's okay to use story structure and tropes to figure out something that someone would enjoy, and then just put in the work, do the writing, do the rewriting, do the editing, hire someone to edit it for you. If you're not lucky like I am, professional, hire a good cover artist, get it up on Amazon or wherever, or pitch it to an agent. Um, Learn how to do Amazon ads. Like I said, that link down there is a great place to start. Learn how to do marketing. If you put into the work and you're willing to make some mistakes and learn by them and take advice from people, You can do it, and I can help. Brian, I think you're looking at it wrong. A great real estate agent doesn't need to sell one $5 million house. They're successful when they sell 500,000 dollar houses. You're the latter. Yeah, I think you're right, Brian, and I will say that I've done very well. Not only am I the ladder, but I am a ladder. I'm climbing a ladder. I know you mean that term the other way. Um, I always say with when it comes to authors that we're all climbing the mountain. So yes, I've sold thousands of copies of my books all over the world. I mean, what I mean by all over the world, I've sold copies of my books in the first in all the English speaking countries. So in the U.S., UK, I think the UK almost rivals the US as far as book sales. Canada, Australia. I've sold books in Mexico, India, Japan, Spain, Germany. I think I've sold Italy. I've sold. I think I've sold a novel or two in Italy. All my books are in English right now. One of the things is I could have them translated myself, but I'd have to pay for that, and I don't think the cost benefit would be there. But that's one of the things that I could dangle in front of a big publisher. If someone, in fact, I'd be interested if a German publisher, because I know the Germans really like American Civil War. So if a German publisher came to me and said, "Hey, we're not looking to for your English stuff. We just want the rights to translate your book and publish it in German," I'd be like, "Yeah, let's do it." I'd do that in a heartbeat. And I might actually go look for that. Back to the query thing, I just haven't gotten around to asking anybody yet. I'm just trying to do everything myself. Um, but yeah, so I guess I guess Brian, I guess if someone said, "Hey, I really want your help on this, and I'm gonna," first of all, I'm willing to help people to a certain degree. Like I'm not going to kill myself or someone. I'm going to give you some casual advice. If you need me to spend like a half a day with you getting your book on KDP, it's fine. But if someone came to me and said, "I'm going to offer you, I'm going to pay you, and this is what I want. I want you to help me do this," and then I'd say okay. And then maybe if the demand were there, I would do that. But I guess what I don't want to do is get to the point where, I know some of these guys do this, where I'm not writing books anymore. I'm doing consulting, which is, I mean, money's money, and I think there's a way to balance that too. So I guess all I'm saying is we're all on our path. So right now, it's I'm happy to help people out, and I'm not yet looking to like start an agency where I'm charging anybody. And any of you who are watching this that I have helped already, don't worry about it. Like I'm always going to help you. I'll take care of my cubs, my friends I've got. So anyway, enough of that. Let's see. Let's get you caught up here. I'm working on struggling through the Prussian Prince, mostly because I just want it to be good. We're working on the Battle of Konigratz, hoping to get the first draft done in the next month or so. I've been working in this new job, which was supposed to be part time, has got me living in hotels. And I had to negotiate to at least be able to drive home and spend the weekend. So it's been hard to stay on top of things, but I'm getting up at 5, doing a writing session, practicing my fiddle, and then hitting the road, by 8 o'clock, so that I can. I do a lot of field work. It's market research for like real estate investors. Um, that is. Oh, I know. We just finished up with running a 99 cent for Mexico, My Love. Blood for Blood at Nashville. The Kindle version is now 99 cents. It's going to be 99 cents until up through next Sunday. And then the following week, we're going to do 99 pence in the UK. I will probably run Facebook ads, at least on Tuesday, to see how well they do. It used to be in the beginning of the year, I was running Facebook ads, and every dollar I put into Facebook, I got $4 back. Now it's at a loss. So I have to really keep my eye on it. If the ad's not doing well, I feel like the ad is, see, this is why I don't want to charge anybody, because I'm still learning myself, and I'm still, um, learning by my mistakes. But I feel like the ad is just showing it to the same people and not finding other people. And so I don't, I need to, I think they have free, like, Facebook has its own free consultants, and I need to talk to somebody, because, and maybe just learn more about how to do Facebook ads, because I had great success at the beginning of the year, and then that has just dried up. Um, okay, Brian, where do you get the most honest and valuable feedback about your book before publishing? Laura, my girlfriend, and my mom. I hate to say it, I think that getting good feedback, good honest feedback, is very important, and I think you should seek it out. To be honest with you, I don't. I kind of trust my own gut. I don't think that's necessarily wise. Things have gone well for me, but that's one of the benefits of being an independent, is that I don't have to get approval from anybody. Now, I do, like, Laura, who's my girlfriend and my best friend. We talk every single day, usually twice a day, and I talk things out with her, and seek her advice. And she, like, and sometimes just even saying, like, here's what's going to happen next, and then I work it out because I'm talking to her about it. And she does read through my, once I get it polished up as well as I can, she goes through with a red pen, and mostly her edits are, it's either like typos, grammar, or sometimes she's like, hey, you called this person this name here, make sure you're being consistent. My mother also, she does the next round, and my mother does get a little bit more of that kind of editing, that feedback of, I think you should do this. I think, oh, I'll tell you this, Mexico My Love is a result of my mother, because she says, she goes, you write great battle scenes and all that, but I want more romance. And so Mexico My Love is romance. But I do know that some authors use what's called ARC readers, and I think it's advanced reading copy, where they send them out to people and have them read them and get some feedback. I don't care to do that myself, because I guess I just trust myself more than I trust anybody else. I did it for somebody, um, and I hope that person isn't watching or figures out who I'm talking about. But it's one of the reasons why I don't like reading other people's books. People say, "Hey, will you read my book?" It was atrocious. It was the grammar and the, typo stuff, no problems with it. It was just, there were so many things that were just fundamentally historically wrong, and I mean, I didn't even know where to even start, how to even tell this person, like, and it's someone I didn't really know very well either. And so I ended up saying, hey, I can't review your book, I'm sorry, I'm just overwhelmed. And that's kind of now, like, I don't do it. Like, uh, if one of my, like, big shot author friends who is like super established and published wants me, asked me to do it, absolutely I would do it. But, like, if you're kind of an unknown, and it's just, find someone else to do it. It's First of all, I'm so overwhelmed with trying to get my own book written, and to read all the books I need to read for my research, and I'm always reading a novel, in my genre. It's just hard for me to do that. So I hope that answers your question. I'm kind of long-winded with things. Um, so yeah, 99 cents for, Blood for Blood. Currently, next week it's going to be on a special in the UK. I'm going to be. Let me pull up my schedule here. Um, I think it's October 21st is my next public appearance. It's at the Loads House in Franklin. Yes, the 21st. I'm going to be at the Loads House, and they do, JT, who used to be a news director at Channel 4. Not when I was there, though. He was there before me. We become really good friends. He's a really big, well, he owns a Civil War museum. Uh, and so they sell my books there, and I'll come out. I've done it a few times now, where I go and I sit outside and play my fiddle and talk to people, and I bring books, and and I sell a lot of books when I do it. It's great. Let me see my gig list here. Uh, Show folders, and let's see here. It's not writing; it's set list, and then gig list. So that's the 21st at the Lodes House. The Lodes House is a wonderful. It's basically built by a German immigrant, and he and his family were there front and center during the Battle of Franklin, and the house was used as a hospital afterwards. I mean, it's the house is riddled with there's like a part in the floor where there's a 6 pound cannonball dug into the floor. There's bullet holes. I mean, it's a really great experience, and the people who do the tours there are really great storytellers. So I highly recommend it. Come out Saturday, October the 21st, and say hi to me. Get a signed book. All my books will be there, and even if you don't buy any of my books, come out and say hi to me. I'll play some fiddle. I also have. I know I have a talk, and I better figure this out soon because I have another talk in. Oh, in Memphis, that will be January. Okay, yeah. Also in October, I'm going to be at Morgan on the Rim. This is in where is that? Ridgetop. Is that right? Um, it's just a little north of Nashville, and it's a all day, all weekend Civil War thing. And they got last time they had 3 authors, and they gave us all booths absolutely free. They just wanted to have Civil War authors there, and so we were there selling our books. And I was playing fiddle, and I sold a lot. It was amazing. I will say this: when I do an event like that, um, I not only do I sell a lot of books, but I sell the entire series. I mean, um, people don't just like buy book one and say, "Oh, I'll see if it's any good." They just go ahead and buy the whole thing, which is amazing. I'm very lucky for that. So that is the following weekend. In fact, that was kind of a conundrum because I basically the way I do inventory for the copies that I sell, the print copies I sell, they're called author copies, and Amazon sells them to me at cost, which is wonderful. I There's no markup at all. I think they just think that the more you sell, the more you're going to direct people to Amazon eventually. Um, and then I sell them for the same price that they go for on Amazon, and so I make a lot more money if I sell them myself, but it's a lot more work. Um, so I try if I buy them by the box of 20, and if I get down below 10, then I buy another box. So by that logic, I should have anywhere between 10 and 30 books, copies of any of my books. Sometimes people say, "Hey, I want a signed copy. Will you send it to me in the mail?" Yeah, we can do that. Um, but the one problem where that system kind of breaks down is if I have 2 events in a row, because it takes Amazon about 10 days. So if I need a box of books for an event, I need to get that order in at least 10 days before. So I was already doing Morgan on the Rim, and that was going to be that's a 3-day event, and I will, I mean, last time I was there, I think I sold um, over 30 books altogether. It was a very good weekend. But now I just, JT booked me to do a signing at his place the Saturday before. So I had to make sure that, and sometimes you get well stocked, but I'd rather be overstocked than run out of books. And I mean, it's great to sell out, but then it's not great to sell out because then you're missing sales that would have happened if you still had books. So I have over 30, I think I have 27 copies of one book and over 30 of the other two. Only one was like 17. So I figure to have at least in stock 10, at least 10 for each one. So I bought another box of Mexico I Love, and it's okay if I don't sell them all. I still have things on down the road. I got a talk that I'm doing in January, in Memphis for Sons of Confederate veterans there, and then I'm doing the Mid South Civil War show. I think the first weekend in March. I've done it now 2 years in a row. Last time, my mom came down from Detroit and helped sell books. She's so cute because she's a natural salesperson. She's been in advertising her whole life. She's the reason why I got into television. So my mom, little 70-something-year-old lady, just hustling people, and they were just in love with her. They just she's a doll. This year, they've asked me to be one of the presenters. So not only am I going to be there playing fiddle and selling books, but I'm also going to do a talk. And I'm doing if it's the first time, unless there's a request, I usually do my history of the American Civil War through fiddle tunes. That seems to be very popular. So I'll be doing that talk. That's first week in. I think it's the first weekend in March. So that's what's going on with me. Also, I'm making a point to read other people's works, write reviews, and review it here on this channel. I'm reading Lloyd's book. Although Lloyd, I don't know if you're still here, but I might have to take a break from it because I was in line to read The Haunting of Hill House, and there's a big waiting list, and it's come up. And so like I feel like I have to read it. So because everybody wants to read it around Halloween. So I might have to take a break, read that one, or read them both at the same time. So Laura and I are both reading Lloyd's book, Malinville, both enjoying it. So Laura's a little behind, so I might let her catch up with her. Oh, and one last thing. So about me helping you, giving you advice and things like that, which I'm always happy to do. Send me a PM. I'm not an agency yet, so I'm just doing it for free. If you want to learn more, I do have a book that I put out. Let's see here. Oh, okay, add to the stage. Is that already up? I don't know how to do this. No, that's not what I want. I'm trying to see if I can get that. I'm trying to share my screen. Unless I'm already doing it. Have I been doing this the whole time? No, because I don't see it. All right. How do I do this? I want to. Okay. Let me try this again. Share screen. Have I been showing that the whole time? There we go. Okay. Now let me check over here to see. Oh, I see. No, I don't want to remove me. Okay, never mind. If you go to, I'm trying to share my screen, but I'm failing at doing it. Oh, you do see it. Do you see me too? I don't know why I'm not seeing both of us. Something's crazy here. Anyway, yeah, it's not there. Oh, I'm missing all sorts of things. Okay. Well, anyway, if you can see it, for some reason you don't see me. Have you seen me at all during this? Oh well, now I just removed it. Crazy. Okay, well, anyway, that's my book. How to write, publish, and oh, now everything's going crazy. God, can't handle a computer anymore. How to write, publish, and market your novel, a brief no nonsense guide. It's currently, I think it's like $2 for the digital version and $4. It's basically I wrote a series of see some I don't. Let me try this. Cancel. Okay, yeah, I guess add to the stage. There we go. Yeah, for some reason what I was seeing was I'm still learning how to do this. So thanks for your patience. So yeah, this is the I wrote a series of blog posts, and then I took them all down, re-edited them, and and repackaged as this book. I don't. This is not a book that that I wrote to make money on. I make a little bit when it sells. In fact, I don't sell the print copies anymore. I just don't bother because it's a different market from everything else I'm doing, which is the novels. But it's there, and I'll tell you this: I give it away for free every 90 days for like 5 days, the digital version. So if you want to wait for it, you can do that. But anyway, it's $2 for the digital one. It's $4 if you want a print copy. It's very thin. It's probably only like 50 pages long. It's a series of articles I wrote on how to come up with an idea, how to plot your book, the process I use for writing, um, uh, my how I edit things you can do to market. I think it's a lot of help. And then of course I'll go ahead and plug myself. Let's see here. Um, well, here's David Gogren. This is one of the guys I talked about. He's got a bunch of he's a an author coach and an author himself, and he's got a free course. It's really good. I've been through it. And let's see if we can go back to plugging myself here. I think I'm coming down with something. Let's see here. There's a way there. Cody Engdahl. That's me. Um, yeah, here are my novels. I'd say the place to start is right here. Although you can read any of the books out of order if you want, but the books do kind of tell an overarching story. This is Rampage on the River, first one uh, I wrote. It's the first book of this series. The second one, The Perils of Perryville. Look at this, Blood for Blood at Nashville, and it's only 99 cents on Kindle right now. And it's a big book. It's 119,000 words. We have the battle of not only Nashville, but the battles of Franklin, Chickamauga, Fort Pillow, the Fort Pillow Massacre, Johnsonville, to name a few. I'm very proud of this book. Only 99 cents, and then of course, then here is the prequel to all my books, Mexico, My Love. It is the story of the parents of my main character in the Civil War trilogy. I'm very proud of this book, and yeah, and I'm writing the Prussian Prince now, and it takes a character from the trilogy and puts him in the Austro-Prussian War. Anyway, I love you guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll be back probably next week with another live. Check out if you're interested. Well, first of all, you can check out my books. The links below. I think Brian Cohen's course is really good. It's coming up in October. You can check it out. It's free, and keep writing. And if anybody's got any questions, you can leave me a comment below if you didn't get a question in during the chat. And I love you guys, and talk to you soon.